Dear students, welcome to one more new video. In this video, let us see key answers of 2022 final exam. First main, the sea route between India and Europe was discovered by. Correct answer is option B, Vasco da Gama. The movement led by Ali brothers was. Correct answer is option B, Khilafat. The policy of keeping safe distance from both the power blocks of the world is known as non-alignment. Best example for labor without pay among the following is housewife. A periodical started by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was Mookanayaka. The Nagarjuna Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the state Telangana. The constitutional amendment that brought into existence the 3 levels of Panchayat institutions is 73rd. The type of bank account where any number of transactions can be made in a day is current account. Second main, why did Lord Wellesley resign from his post and return to England? His battle-thirstness increased the financial burden on the company. On being criticized for this policy, Lord Wellesley resigned from his post and returned to England. Who was the first president of India? Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad. When do we celebrate Human Rights Day every year? December 10. What is mob? Mob is a collection of people who have assembled at a particular point without any prior plan and gathered to express some decision. Where does the Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats meet? Nilgiri Hills. Which type of forests are found in the deltas of river? Mangrove forest. What is national income? National income is the total value of all goods and services produced in a country during 1 year. Who is the founder of Wipro Technologies? Azim Premji. Third main, what were the results of the Battle of Buxar? Shah Alam II accorded the Diwani rights over Bengal to the British. Shah Alam II gave away all the rights over Bengal to the British for an annual fee of rupees 26 lakhs. The Nawab of Oudh had to give away a fine of rupees 50 lakhs for waging a war against the company. With the death of Mir Jafar, the company paid pensions to his son and took over the entire administration of Bengal. What were the conditions of subsidiary alliance? The Indian king had to keep the British army in his kingdom. The concerned state had to bear the expenses of the army, the wages of soldiers, and also had to give certain revenue lands as well. The king has to have a British resident in his court. The king could not appoint any other European without the permission of the British. In order to enter any agreement or pact with any Indian government, the permission of the Governor General was mandatory. In return of all these services, the company would offer protection to the state from any internal or external aggression. Which are the Panchashila principles? Respecting each other's sovereignty and regional interests, non-invasion of each other, non-interference of in each other's internal issue, mutual cooperation and respect, peaceful coexistence. Or explain the struggle led by India for the implementation of human rights. India has been advocating universal declaration of human rights from the beginning. In the Constitution of India, from Article 12 to 35 of Part 3, fundamental rights are discussed. India has been advocating for better human rights implementation in all the meetings of UNO. List out the challenges faced by the unorganized sector workers: migration, social security, legal framework, child labor, physical and mental exploitation. Name any 4 environmental movements: Apiko movement, Narmada Bachao Andolana, Silent Valley movement, Chipko movement. which are the important climatic seasons of India: the winter season, the summer season, the rainy season, the retreating monsoon season. What are the causes of soil erosion? Deforestation, overgrazing, shifting cultivation, faulty methods of cultivation, use of topsoil for making bricks, tiles, etc. Mention the housing programs. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Ambedkar Valmiki Housing Program, Ashraya Yojana. What are the objectives of the Consumer Protection Act? The Act accords importance for safety and quality, avoiding production and sale of dangerous goods, prevention of trade malpractices in the market, supervision on quality, weights, measures, and price, compensating the consumers in case of any problem arising as the result of trade, creating awareness to the consumers through consumer education. Fourth main, what are the impacts of British education in India? Indians could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes, and rationality along with nationalistic ideals. Impetus was received for the local literature and languages. This facilitated unity in thinking process among the educated class. Periodicals started emerging. These scrutinized the policies and working of the government, which in turn enabled the Indians to have critical opinion on various issues. New social and religious reformation movements emerged. The thoughts of thinkers like J.S. Mill, Rousseau, and Montesquieu brought fresh thinking in the mind of educated youth of India. The freedom struggle that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indians also. Indians could understand and appreciate their rich tradition. What are the aims of Arya Samaj? All Hindus should believe in one formless God. No one is Shudra or Brahmin by birth, and caste-based system was rejected. Encouragement to intercaste marriages, rejection of polygamy and child marriage. Men and women are equal. One should study Vedas and other ancient sacred texts and preach them. Or what were the problems faced by India at the time of independence? The country was burnt in communal fire. The integration of princely states into federal structure of India was a bigger problem. Partition had damaged the economic system of India deeply. India had a challenge of creating its own constitution. India had to protect its freedom. That was after years of struggle from its enemies. There was a need to strengthen the social fabric to establish social equality. What were the reasons for the failure of 1857 revolt? It did not cover every part of India. It was mainly concentrated on the issues of the rights of kings and queens rather than liberation of the country. As it was not a planned mutiny, there were many unexpected results. The unity among the British and the disunity among the Indian soldiers resulted in its failure. The mutiny lacked direction and leadership. The soldiers also lacked discipline and organizing skills. The Indian soldiers lacked military strategies, planning capabilities, and soldiering skills. The freedom fighters lacked a definite aim. Many of the Indian kings extended their loyalties to the British and did not support the freedom fighters. The plundering and other crimes committed by the Sipais made them to lose the faith of common people. Explain the relation of India with Russia. India has cordial relationship with Russia. It had similar relationship with the USSR. Even though India followed non-aligned policy, it had good relationship with Russia in the field of economics, politics, and other areas. USSR had opposed China's invasion of India. During the Goa liberation, USSR had supported India at UNO. USSR had supported the Tashkent Agreement between India and Pakistan. In 1971, India and USSR signed an agreement of 20 years for peace and cooperation. USSR had supported for the establishment of Bhilai and Bokaro steel plants. Russia has extended its support to India's quest for permanent seat in the UN Security Council. Write the legal measures taken to eradicate untouchability in India. The Article 17 of the Indian Constitution prohibits untouchability. The Government of India has implemented Untouchability Crime Act. Civil Rights Protection Act was implemented in 1976 with the necessary changes to the Act of 1955. According to this act, practicing untouchability is a crime. Universal right to vote and participate in election has also been provided. Reservation has been given in the field of education and employment for SC/ST along with backward classes. The Act of 1989 has given some specific responsibilities for the government in the eradication of untouchability, equality to all. What are the factors that influence the localization of industries? Supply of raw materials, supply of power, transport and communication facilities, market facilities, capital, labor and water supply, ideal climate, government policies. Or list out the effects of cyclone. Tropical cyclones are very destructive to causes loss of life and property, damage to buildings, transport and communication system, disrupt power supply, destroy crops, vegetation, animals, etc. What is the importance of transport? Explain. Transport plays a very important roles in the development of all factors of human activities, namely the primary sector, the secondary sector and the tertiary sector, helps to develop resources and agriculture, promotes industrial progress, widen the market, increase internal and external trade, provides employment, raises the income and standard of living of people, encourage tourism, helps in defense. Point out the various dimensions of gender discrimination prevailing in present day India. Significant types of discrimination can still be seen and violence against women is frequently reported. The women are not yet given equality in all spheres, making them secondary partners in economic growth. Gender discrimination may be seen in various dimensions of Indian society, economy and polity. Even today, some people think women do not need education and in some places adequate schooling facilities may not be available. At the workplace, women mainly work in unorganized activities at lower wages than the men. It is also true that women are not free to spend the income that they earn. In many households, women eat last after the head and children have had food. This makes her malnourished and susceptible to many illness. With low nutrition but compelled to doing heavy work makes her to fall sick often, which is usually ignored by the men folk. Especially the health of pregnant women is very crucial because it affects the baby's health also. Or explain the features of Panchayat Raj system adopted in India. A three-tier structure of district, taluk and village panchayat with Grama Sabha as foundation, direct and periodic elections, reservation of seats for SC/ST, other backward classes and women, provision of major financial and administrative responsibilities, budget and audit requirements, provision for executive support staff, a strict procedure for dissolution, suppression of panchayats and mandatory elections within 6 months of dissolution. What are the functions of a bank? Accepting deposits from public and others, lending money to public and other institutions, transforming money from one place to another, collecting money on checks, drafts and bills, discounting of bills, hiring safe deposit lockers, conducting foreign exchange transaction, keeping valuables in safe custody, issuing letters of credit and guarantee, conducting government transactions. Or what are the entrepreneurs' role in economic development? Entrepreneurs promote capital formation by mobilizing the idle savings of the citizens. They employ resources for setting up their enterprises. They provide large-scale employment to artisans, technically qualified persons and professionals. They help the country to increase the GDP and per capita income. They encourage effective mobilization of skill, bring in new products and services and develop market for the growth of the economy. They enable the people to avail better quality goods at lower prices, which results in the improvement of their standard of living. They promote development of industries. They help to remove regional disparities by industrializing rural and backward areas. They contribute towards the development of society by reducing concentration of income and wealth. They promote countries' export trade. They work in an environment of changing technology and try to maximize profits by innovations. Fifth main, how did Dondia Wag fight against the British? He built a small army and started his operations. He organized the army with the unhappy soldiers of Tipu's army. He captured Bidanur and Shivamogga forts. An attack was organized on Shivamogga, Honnali, Harihara. He had recaptured Shikaripura fort and he was scattered by the British army again. The British tried to defeat the army of Dondia, which used to move in the area between Tungabhadra and Malaprabha. They attacked him from all the directions. He was followed by them when he left Raichur. When he was caught in between Maratha army and Nizam's army, the British attacked him near Yelaparavi and killed him at Konagal. With the death of their leader, the followers of Dondia scattered. The British captured a large cache of arms and ammunitions. Or explain the role of radicals in the freedom movement. Radicals called moderates as political beggars. The group congressmen who criticized the soft stance of moderates are called as radicals. Arvind Ghosh, Bipin Chandra Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai and Balagangadhar Tilak are the main members of this radical group. They opposed the stance of the British, who considered nominating the Indian members to Indian legislative assemblies as an important favor. Tilak declared, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Attaining complete freedom was the aim of radicals. They tried to organize the common people of India. They attempted to organize people by employing religious celebrations too. They used Ganesha, Shivaji, Durga celebrations to organize people against the British. What is the role of Subhash Chandra Bose in the freedom struggle? He became popular as Netaji. He engaged himself in organizing the Indians residing outside India. He toured many cities like Vienna, Berlin, Rome, Istanbul. He founded the Congress Socialist Party. He became the president of Haripur Convention of Indian National Congress with the support of Gandhiji. He quit Congress and founded Forward Bloc. He opposed the British war preparation. The British government arrested him and put him under house arrest. He escaped from the house arrest, reached Germany. He organized the prisoners of war from India. He broadcasted his speeches over Azad Hind Radio to Indians. Rash Bihari Bose had founded India Independence League in Tokyo of Japan. He was calling its military wing as Indian National Army. Bose called for Dilli Chalo on this occasion. He died in aeroplane crash. Which measures are taken to improve the status of women in India? The government has started Women and Child Development Department in order to develop women's education and status. The government seeks to improve the status, health and education of women. Many programs have been implemented to curb child marriage system. Dowry Prohibition Act, compulsory educations are implemented. The government of Karnataka has implemented Stree Shakti program. Women's Commission have been established at national and state level to address the various issues of women. Attempts are made to provide reservations at state and national legislative bodies. Women reservation has already been provided at local bodies. Women reservation is also provided in government recruitments. List out the types of agriculture followed in India: subsistence farming, intensive farming, commercial farming, mixed farming, plantation farming, dry farming, humid farming, irrigation farming. Draw an outline map of India and mark the following: 23.5° north latitude, Bakranangal River, Kaveri, Mumbai. A. 23.5° north latitude. B. Bakranangal. C. River Kaveri. D. Mumbai.